Hello friends! As you can tell from the title, the thumbnail, and the intro, I will be reading Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. This is my first book back on Book of the Month. I decided that I would resubscribe because I feel like I need to kind of rein myself in on some of the more recent books that are coming out, some more of the hot topic, the trendies. I feel like I have a lot of backlist books but not a lot of new books, and so I'm going to make it my mission that if I'm going to film one video, it'll be a vlog of the book of the month that I choose. However, spoiler alert for next month, I actually didn't pick a book for August because I don't read thrillers, I don't read horror. I quite frankly am a little. But with that, I decided that I was going to skip August, so it gives me plenty of room to read last month's book, and I'm super excited to dive into this. So the synopsis of this essentially is it's a 30-year love story, but not one that we've ever seen before, that surrounds itself through video games, which I find really fitting considering my job. It goes through this incredible relationship apparently between our two characters, Sam and Sadie, and I'm just really excited to see what this novel is going to bring. The title obviously is a nod to Shakespeare, so I'm really interested in seeing what this book is really gonna be about, because I have not done any reading on what people think of this book because I don't want my opinion to be swayed, although I really should have paid attention to the 400+ marker on Book of the Month's website / app / description of this guy, because I was not expecting it to be such a chunker. But it seems like it's going to be really easy to fly through, and it'll be one of my first physical book sit downs in a really long time. I can't get my hands on the audiobook, and I think that's really good for me because it'll mean that I'm going to be so much more engaged in the book overall. So I'm really excited. I'm gonna go ahead and start this right now. I have about 30 minutes of my lunch break left, so I'm just gonna get, you know, as far in as I possibly can, and then once I'm off work, I'm gonna do a big chunk of reading tonight. So I didn't actually get to read too much last night, so I'm finally able to read on my lunch break. And I got to page 34, which is midway through chapter 3. And I already have half a page worth of notes because I want to remember every detail about these characters. I already love this book so much, it's a little bit concerning. I'm only 34 pages in. It's over 400 pages long. Like, if this is the beginning, then I'm extremely excited to see how the story unfolds. I think the writing style is also really attractive to me in the sense that the way we're jumping back and forth over the span of their story is really fascinating, and I really do love the fact that we're able to see their experiences both separately and together, see both of their perspectives. And just in general, like, coming from my last 6, almost 7 months working at a company representing a gaming giant in the industry, it's really cool to understand a lot of the references, and like, even if you don't understand gaming references, the author does a really good job of trying to make it as easily consumable as possible while still showing that she has done her research, she knows what she's talking about. Like, I just think this is gonna be really good. This could really be, you know, an all-time favorite. However, I will say an immediate trigger warning for just like childhood sickness, cancer. As of right now, those are the only triggers that I can see, and cheating / it's not that present, but it's in the book already. I'll do like some spoiler-free stuff and some spoilery stuff, but as of right now, only 34 pages in, and I am really enjoying this. So I'm excited to see where the book takes off to, and I really hope that this initial enjoyment, you know, spans across the entire book. Just wrapped up work, finished up The Bachelorette. I am absolutely obsessed with this season. My hands are wrapped because I have 2 little tears. Like, you obviously can't see them because they're bandaged, but I do CrossFit in case we weren't aware, and so I have 2 like calluses that ripped, and so I'm just trying to get them to kind of heal up a little bit, and this is essentially the best way to bandage Neosporin and just keep them moist so they heal. I made some dinner.
I'm totally eating in bed, and so I just put some Trader Joe's bags underneath, but it's a shrimp
rice stir fry situation, and she's very yummy. This season of The Bachelorette has been both everything I expected and nothing I expected. If you watch The Bachelorette, please let me know in the comments down below. I'll probably end up filming like one more Bachelorette update after this, I think, because I don't see this book taking me that long to read if I'm really enjoying it as much as I am right now. So I'm gonna try to grind out some of this. I'm gonna eat some dinner and I'll come back to you with thoughts. I think it's the most productive reading vlog on day one, so I'm really proud of myself. To my almost empty living room. We currently only have the cart that my camera is sitting on, a handful of boxes, my plants, Jeffrey and Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and we'll introduce you in just a minute. And then I've got my little dining section that's got a dining table and 2 chairs that'll be gone on either Friday or Saturday. And then obviously, as you guys saw, my bedroom is still basically furnished. So I know I never introduced you guys to this apartment fully. I gave you guys a little walkthrough when I first moved in, but I'm moving out. And so I'm kind of just soaking up every bit of this apartment and every bit of the adventure that we had here. I am feeling extremely nostalgic and a little bit sad, I'm not gonna lie. This was the first place that we just decided to move to because we love the area, we loved our lives here, and still do, but the reason we're moving out is because my roommate and I decided that we were going to live at home for a little bit, back with our parents, which is about 45 to an hour away from where we are now, and save some money. You know, I work from home anyway, so it's kind of nice for me regardless. I just have to set up my office space. But with that means, you know, some new changes and some new things coming. So I'm very hopeful for the future, but I am really nostalgic. I am really sad to be leaving this place. I'm more sad to be leaving my gym than anything. Here we are. So I did want to update you a little bit on tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow because it is shaping up to be book of the year for me. It is for sure a 5-star as of right now. I'm about 150 pages in, so almost halfway through, and I really am loving the way the story is progressing. I love the author's writing style is really unique in terms of other books that I've read, and I feel like I'm really able to connect with the characters even though certain moments may be sparse. I love their different dynamics, but most of all, I love seeing Sam, Sadie, and Marks as a trio. The 3 of them have such an incredible bond that is so unmatched in terms of a regular adult friendship. Like, they are childhood friends, yes, but bringing Marks into the mix and bringing this connection is so deep, and it's so just wonderful to read. They're incredible characters that you really feel like are just good people. Like, they have their own shit going on. They have all of their own traumas, all of their own mistakes, all of their own flaws, but they love each other so much. And even if they might not say it out loud, you can see it in their actions. And I love that they are just such tangible characters and definitely shaping up to be like favorite characters of the year as well. I love that. I love being able to see the ins and outs of the gaming industry when it comes to creating a game as a developer, as a coder, being able to see the publishing side of the game, and then just seeing like just the joy and the passion and love that goes into gaming. As you guys know, working for Nintendo has kind of reinvigorated the love for this industry, and it's definitely the industry that I'm going to stay in for the rest of my life if I can. And so it's just really hitting home. They just moved to California, so of course all of the corny California things that are in this book are true, but it's told from the point of view of someone who has been in the city, who knows the ins and outs, but also who knows all the touristy things, who knows all the typical things that you might talk about. And there's an entire, I posted it on my Instagram page, there's an entire page that's just one paragraph of Dove, who's the developer slash professor, mentor, we don't like Dove, but he gave this whole spiel to Sadie about, oh, do you want to move to California where there are earthquakes, where there are tsunami warnings, where are this, there's this, there's this, and I was like, exactly. But then 2 or 3 pages later, Marx's girlfriend is sitting there and is like, here's all the things that you can do in California, and here's why we love it so much. So this book feels like me in a nutshell in this exact state of my life. So I think that's why it's so special to me, and I 100% believe that like this book was just kind of like made for a me. So it's really hard for me to find that as of late, but I do think that just it's so good. And if me talking about it isn't enough, like go pick up the book and read it yourself. I'm only 150 pages in and I love this novel. So I'm excited to continue reading it, to continue to see where our characters go with their game Ichigo and now with their new games, and just I love it. I love it. I really feel like it's transcending time, and I think that's the author's purpose, and I think she does an incredible job of that. That's it. Just wanted to update y'all. Probably won't get to much reading today. I'm gonna try to read a little bit more tomorrow, but tomorrow's Friday. I move out on Saturday, so it's gonna be a busy couple days of just lots of moving pieces, so fingers crossed that I can read. Should be able to read tomorrow. But yeah, hope you guys are having a good day. Hi friends. Do we recognize this background? It's official. I have moved back into my parents' house for the time being. Like I said in the last clip, this past weekend, it's now Monday, this past weekend, I moved from my apartment to my parents' house, back into my childhood home. This weekend, my boyfriend and I brought all of the things from my place to my parents, and we set up my room, and I've just kind of spent the last 2 days getting comfortable, getting situated, and I am working. I'm on my lunch break right now, but I haven't had a chance to read. The book is actually sitting right there alongside a handful of other things, but it's just been getting situated, kind of sorting out life a little bit, trying to find a new gym that I like. If I'm gonna be 100% honest, it's hard. It's not easy moving away from the people and the place that you love and have grown to call a home. So, you know, it's been an emotional couple of days if I'm going to be fully transparent, and have not touched my book at all, even though I'm dying to read it. I'll probably end up reading a little bit more tomorrow. I've got kind of a busy Monday today, or I might sit and read for like 20-30 minutes right now. But yeah, it's been an adjustment to say the least, but my room is at least put together for about like, I would say like 85% of the part. There's still a few things that I'm like not super happy with that I still need to adjust, but for the most part I'm settled, and I'm back with my bookshelf, which is also really exciting, which means I get to see all of the books that I have unread as opposed to the handful of books that I took with me to the apartment. So all in all, it was a great move. My boyfriend made it super easy. Now everything will be happening from here. So I hope you guys are excited for this next leg of life with me, and I am very happy to have you guys along for the ride. Here's me, someone who tries to film a reading vlog and then has a million life updates instead. So the last week I have had such a crazy time because I started school and I wrapped up my internship at Nintendo. So your girl's currently a free agent. I'm interviewing at a few places, and one spot looks like it's going to be the perfect fit for me, so I'm in the interview process there. It's taking a little bit longer than I thought it was going to, but that's okay because I'm not trying to push anything. I'm not trying to force anything to happen, so I'm just gonna kind of hang out and work on school and continue to get fit. But in the meantime, I'm gonna spend some time reading tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, because quite frankly, I forgot what happened the last time I picked up this book. So I'm gonna do just like a quick little recap of my notes, and I'm gonna try to read, I don't know, like 50 or so pages right now. I'm on page 187. So I think I can read to like page 230, 240, and then I'll probably honestly take a nap. And then I had to go pick up my boyfriend from LAX because he just got back from a work trip, or he is getting back from a work trip tonight. So I'm gonna go pick him up, and then we're probably gonna call it a night. Yeah, life's weird. There's a lot of life changes happening, but it's okay. Morning, friends. So I have my fan on because it's like a million degrees. I sound a little bit sick, and I think I'm just having a mild like allergy issue slash I don't know what's going on. I think my body is fighting something. It is also still pretty early in the morning, so I'm gonna account it to that, and I'm still taking any precautions to make sure that I'm like not sick, but it's just a weird time right now. So we're gonna move past that. I'm going to get a ton of reading done today because I didn't end up reading the day that I said I was gonna go do a bunch of reading. I have no excuses. I'm sitting here. I'm in my beanbag. I'm gonna have a good time and I'm gonna read. And I'm really excited to get through a massive chunk of this today. So I will check in with you guys as soon as I can. But I've been enjoying filming again, and I'm hoping that this is kind of my internal push to continue. So yeah, I think I just need to keep on trucking, and I'm planning on doing some brainstorming later today. So really excited, and I'm gonna get to reading now. I'm stressed, and we have Mason here with me. I just read the chapter or the section that deals, you know what, I'm just gonna make this a spoiler section. So if you haven't read the book, don't watch this section, or like skip forward to whatever time period I'm gonna put up on the screen. Section 6 ended with a terrifying cliffhanger, with there being a shooting at Unfair Games. Sam and Sadie are promoting their latest game. Mark stayed back because somebody obviously has to run ship, and they get notification that there was a shooting at a tech company in Venice. Sam doesn't think anything of it because they're a gaming company, not a tech company, but to any random person, that's gonna be the same thing. What ends up happening, as we find out from Mark's perspective, is that there is an active shooter, or I don't want to say an active shooter, there is gun threats at Unfair Games. They're specifically looking for Sam, and of course Mark's is the only one that's there. Mark's does a great job of talking down the shooters and just trying to like level with them a little bit, and so of course they're gonna be angry, they're gonna be fueled by their own hate, fueled by their own ambition, if you will, and Sam gets shot 3 times. Section 7 is called the NPC, and Mark's is in a medically induced coma, and we're able to see everything that he sees while he's in said coma, but from the eyes of somebody that's in a coma. So it was written really well, but I just have to say I'm so mad at this book, because literally Mark's is the balancing force for Sadie and Sam. He's been one of my favorite characters throughout the entire novel, though a really underrated one, hence why he's titled the NPC character. And he didn't deserve to die. He didn't. That man has done nothing wrong. He has done nothing wrong this entire book. He has been nothing but such a great support system and such a great unit for Sam and Sadie to really lean on. He's a great friend, and he would have made a great father and a great husband. There's 100 and some pages left of this book. By what miracle are we going to see Sam and Sadie get along and continue life without Mark's? I don't know. When you lose somebody that makes that much of an impression on you, and it's just such an incredible force to be reckoned with when it comes to a group dynamic, like every friend group needs that person. And so I'm really interested to see what kind of development that we get out of Sam and Sadie. But I'm just so sad, man. Like if I was in a crying mood, I would definitely be crying right now, because Marx's character is just such a gem. Like, he is probably making my all-time favorite character list if I were to add him to that. So I'm sad. It kind of makes me want to like stop reading the book knowing that Marx isn't going to be in it directly, but I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm going to finish the book. I'm not going to DNF it. I'm just sad. So I'm interested to see what happens in the next couple sections. I made it to page 341. Mason is here with me getting all the scratches out. I'm scared. I don't know how this book is going to end. All I know is that the title of the book is a f***ing dedication to Marx. Remember at the beginning of the vlog, I was like, oh, I wonder what the tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow Shakespeare reference is gonna be. Found it. Found the reference. It's what they wanted to name the company in the first place. Now, I've got about 50 pages left of this book and I don't know what to do with myself. I'm gonna finish it today. I'm finishing it in this sitting. I didn't expect to sit and finish the book today, but I just, wow. Okay. Welcome to the review portion of this video. So let me start out by saying, if it wasn't obvious enough, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow is a new all-time favorite book. Gabrielle Zevin did such a phenomenal job in these 400 pages that I literally flew through the second half of the book in probably a few hours. It was in one sitting. Like, I set my beanbag up right here, got real nice and cozy, got my coffee, got my water, and I flew through this book. I was supposed to do so much that day, but I just hadn't read for hours. I haven't done that in a really long time, and I haven't had a book that really made me want to do that, so mission accomplished here. So I've got some notes on my phone, and I have my reading journal entry, which page 1, 2, 3, and then the last bit here. Because honestly, I just stopped taking notes and I was just flying through the book, but then there would be moments where I'd have to stop and like sit and process what just happened, because I have so many thoughts. But I'm gonna start off with kind of a revision of the synopsis, because it was really sold as, yes, it is a love story, but it is not one that you have read before. I get the idea of calling this a love story, and it's really sold as like not your typical love story, but really this is a story about video games. It's about friendship, professional development, personal development, heartbreak, losses, trying to really navigate who you are as a person, all while balancing out essentially becoming a world-known phenomenon. Our main trio is Sam, Sadie, and Marx, and they are the trio that become Unfair Games, the studio behind Ichigo, which is kind of the catalyst to all of their successes moving on in the future. Now, with Ichigo becoming such a worldwide known phenomenon, a game that everybody loved, comes the fact that they are now in the public spotlight. And so we're able to really see their perspective on gaming, their perspective on their relationship, both professionally and as a group of friends, really just explore this world in a way that I don't think I've ever had a trio really show me. They are the epitome of the found family trope. Normally the found family trope can either be a hit or a miss for me. Most of the time it is a hit, but the three of them really just do it for me in a way that I don't think any set of characters really has before. And I will say it's both character driven and plot driven. It felt like I was reading their story. And oh yeah, it's a book, obviously you're reading their story. Like, no, like I felt like Sam, Sadie, and Marx are people that I'm friends with, and that this is an autobiography or a bioptic of their lives. I think that's what really does it for me. It's the fact that they feel so real and being set in a contemporary setting. Like they're in California. These are all the spots that I know, all the spots that I've been to, and it all fits and it all makes sense. So I think for me, I feel like I've said this before, but this book really was made for me. It was made for me to read in this era of my life. I have just pivoted my career into the gaming industry. There really is no other way to describe this book except perfect for me. But that's not to say that even if you don't connect to this novel in the way that I do, doesn't mean that you won't have your own connection to it. And I think that's what makes it really special. The pacing of this book is also so good. There's 400 pages. Clearly you can see there's a lot of things that I loved. But 400 pages broken up into 10 sections. It's so easy to read through all of them. They all have a great start and stop point that makes that section feel complete, and you feel like, okay, like I've understood this portion of their lives, I've understood their emotions in this portion, and now I can pause if I need to. She does a great job of kind of wrapping up that section of the story and introducing a new element without it being too cliffhangery. So I was just really pleased with the reading experience the entire time. We're going to talk about the fact that the book is called Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, and how I said, I wonder how the Shakespeare reference will come into play. The Shakespeare reference, the title of the book is literally a dedication to Marx. So Marx had tried to name Unfair Games Tomorrow Games. In one of the games that they had made way down the line, Sadie created a section of the game as a dedication to Marx. And it's the full Tomorrow speech. But we get this little flashback here on page 336 where they're talking about this, and Sadie says, do you have any ideas that aren't from Shakespeare? To make his case, Marx jumped on a kitchen chair and recited the Tomorrow speech for them, which he knew by heart. They eventually obviously didn't name it that. The entire cutscene was a dedication to Marx, and the way he really was the balancing force in this entire book and between this trio is something that is so incredibly special. And to continue talking about this cover, the cover is Ichigo. This book deserves all of the hype. It deserves every last bit. It deserves every 5-star rating, because it really, I have never been more blown away by a book, I think, ever. I went into it pretty blind, only knowing, oh, it's not your typical love story, but like there's so much more to this book, and I feel like people aren't selling it right. Long story short, with the spoilers now over, I love this book. It's a new all-time favorite, if not the all-time favorite. I've got to go through my all-time favorite list and really kind of rank them all. I just have never felt more connected and more seen by a book, but also just more in love with the cast of characters, more in love with the story that was told, and just I've never been able to understand characters and their development so well, but I loved it. And I'm so happy that I read it, and I'm so happy that I experienced it in a vlog format, because this book was seriously so good. And if I haven't done a good enough job of convincing you to go pick it up, just go pick it up and read it for yourself, because I loved it. I'm seeing everybody else is loving it, and it deserves all of that kind of love. So yeah. Well friends, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you guys are planning on reading this book, or if you have read this book, because I will continue to talk about this book, I think, for the rest of my life. That's it. I hope you enjoyed. Catch you next time.